In order to create a shark, you first need to create a net. In this case, I used software called Silhouette Studio. If you can see close up, it is a roadkill version of what a shark would look like. So the next step in creating the shark is loading the paper onto the plastic carrier sheet. And usually add a little tape to make sure that it doesn't pop up. The next step is to load the paper into the silhouette. After I've done this, I can go over to my computer. So after we've loaded the carrier sheet and we are happy with our design, we can now go to use the icon in the top corner over here. Okay. And let me click cut. In this case, I have colored paper, so I not necessarily need to print it first. I'm just going to go straight to cutting. And I'm going to go over to this page, and you can see there's text that says a link that says cut. I'm going to proceed with cutting the page. So we'll be able to see. There aren't a lot of fold lines, so it's just making cut lines. When it's all done cutting, I just hit the enter button again to unload. And if I hold my shape up to my computer, it's a little hard to see with one color. You can see it's exactly the same. So I'm going to begin popping out the pieces. So I'm going to begin by popping out the pieces. First I'm going to turn my carrier sheet over. I'm going to peel it back carefully so I don't rip my pieces. Okay. And I am going to just start popping the pieces out. It should come out easily. Sometimes the blade is getting a little old. It gets a little more difficult. But it's pretty easy. This big circle thing here is the body of the shark. So once I've popped out all my pieces, I'm going to fold my shark in half. Okay, I'm going to pop out little sections. I don't want to call them gills because the gills are at the front. The last thing you'll need to do is pop out the eyes. Okay. And here's where you begin taping the shark together. So I'm going to grab a little piece of tape. Okay. And first, I'm going to line up the head of the shark. I'm going to tape it together. Okay. And I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to tape together on this side. For the rest of the shark's body, I'm going to tape from the inside out. So I'll put the tape in here, and I will bend this over. Okay. I'll do the same for the rest of the pieces. Okay, so now I have the body of the shark all set to go, but before you move on to adding the other parts, just fold the shark's body down, give it a little bit of width, and then we'll move on to putting on the fins. So the first fin I want to put on is this one right here. And if you haven't noticed, there is a fold mark here. Okay, so we're going to fold this and then attach it to the shark. So I fold one side one way and I fold the other side the other way, so I can tape it down on both sides of the shark's back. So I'm going to put this about here, get a little piece of tape. I like to not have tape show, so I'm going to roll it and put a little piece here. I'm going to roll another one and put a little piece here. I'm going to stick it right on the shark's back, like that. The next thing I want to do is put on the shark's tail. So I'm going to take a piece of tape and put it on this side, and I am going to just slide it in. Make sure that the larger end of the tail is facing up. Okay, and you can cut off any excess tape that you want to at the end. The last thing we need to do is put on the fins. So here's one fin. I'm going to fold this up this way. Again, I'm going to roll the paper. And I am going to stick it on a little bit ahead of the back fin. Okay. And I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side. So when you're all done, your shark should look like this. Okay? You got two side fins, top fin, and your tail. Okay? And you can put tape in any place that you think needs reinforcement. So now you can see we have a bunch of sharks. We didn't have to do any printing either, we just used colored paper.